It was August 29, 2025. Millions of ARMY tuned in for what they thought would be a casual Weavers Live. Jungkook, dressed simply, smiled into the camera, joking and moving around as always. His energy was high, his hands restless, his body never fully still. Fans teased him in the chat, "Jungkook, stop moving so much." He laughed, and then came the words that stopped hearts around the world. "I actually have adult ADHD." The screen didn't shake, the lights didn't dim, yet the weight of those words was heavier than any performance stage. For years, Jungkook has been called the golden maknae, perfect in every way. Singing, dancing, producing, performing, there seemed to be nothing he couldn't do. But perfection is only a perception, and perceptions often hide reality. From the earliest days, ARMY noticed Jungkook's constant energy. He was always drumming his fingers, bouncing his legs, shifting his posture. Many assumed it was simply nervousness or his playful nature. Now the truth paints those moments in a new light. Behind the polished performances was a young man who, like millions around the globe, lives with ADHD. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is often associated with children, but few realize that it can continue into adulthood, shaping focus, behavior, and daily life. Symptoms include restlessness, impulsivity, difficulty concentrating, and the constant urge to move. For someone like Jungkook, whose life is constantly under the spotlight, managing ADHD is not easy. Imagine standing on stage before 50,000 fans, cameras rolling, critics waiting, and still feeling your body move uncontrollably. Medical experts have praised Jungkook's openness. By naming it publicly, he has reduced the stigma and shown that ADHD does not define one's success. Instead, it's simply part of who he is. The moment Jungkook confessed, ARMY lit up social media. Within minutes, hashtags like "We love you, Jungkook" and hashtag "Proud of you, Jungkook" trended globally. Fans shared their own stories. "I've lived with ADHD all my life. Seeing Jungkook admit it makes me feel seen. He's brave. He didn't need to say it, but he trusted us." The golden maknae is even more golden now, for his honesty. Many cried, many felt relief, and many saw their idol as a friend walking the same path as them. South Korea has long struggled with mental health stigma. Conversations about depression, anxiety, or ADHD are often silenced. Celebrities in particular face enormous pressure to appear flawless. Jungkook's simple admission is revolutionary. It challenges the cultural silence. It tells millions of young Koreans, "You are not broken. You are not alone." Global media picked up the story. Mental health advocates praised Jungkook, saying his honesty could inspire others to seek help and stop hiding their struggles. When fans revisited old videos, they began to notice subtle signs. Jungkook bouncing his legs in interviews, his endless energy during rehearsals, his restless hands while waiting backstage. What once seemed like quirks now carried new meaning. These were not flaws, they were simply parts of Jungkook being Jungkook. And now, fans love him even more for it. Jungkook has won awards, broken records, and conquered the global stage. But this act of courage, speaking his truth, may be his most important achievement yet. By opening up, Jungkook didn't just strengthen his bond with ARMY. He set an example for every celebrity, every fan, every person who hides their struggles. With all members of BTS now back from military service, the world is waiting for their full comeback in 2026. Jungkook's revelation may influence how the group approaches mental health, performance, and connection with fans moving forward. BTS has always stood for love, healing, and acceptance. Jungkook's confession is not separate from their legacy, it is a continuation of it. In the aftermath of the live stream, ARMY made a silent vow to protect him, to love him, and to walk beside him. Across fan forums, countless posts echoed the same message: "We will never let him feel alone." For Jungkook, this moment was a confession. For ARMY, it became a mission. In the end, Jungkook's ADHD doesn't define him, it humanizes him. He is still the singer who breaks streaming records, still the performer who fills stadiums, still the dreamer who inspires millions. But now he is also a voice for countless fans who share his struggle. And maybe, just maybe, this is the most powerful role Jungkook has ever played. The second Jungkook said the words "adult ADHD," the live chat paused for a heartbeat. ARMY worldwide stared at their screens, unsure if they had heard correctly. Then, like a tidal wave, the chat box filled with purple hearts, crying emojis, and supportive words. Within minutes, the news spread beyond Weverse. Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, all platforms flooded with clips from the live stream. Fans translated the moment into dozens of languages so that every ARMY, from Seoul to Sao Paulo, could understand. The phrase Jungkook ADHD trended #1 globally, followed by #WeLoveYouJungkook. For a star used to headlines about his records and performances, this was different. This was Jungkook making headlines not for what he achieved, but for who he is. In the hours that followed, fans began to share their own experiences. Teenagers confessed that they had ADHD but never told their parents. Adults admitted they had hidden their diagnosis from colleagues. Parents of ARMYs said they finally understood their children better after hearing Jungkook's words. One fan wrote, "When Jungkook said he has ADHD, I cried. Not because I pity him, but because for the first time, I felt proud of myself too." Jungkook had unknowingly become a mirror. His truth reflected the struggles of millions who had long been invisible. Korean and international media wasted no time picking up the story. Headlines read, "BTS Jungkook shatters stigma with ADHD confession. Golden maknae turns vulnerability into strength." Medical experts applauded the moment. Dr. Lee Hyun-woo, a psychiatrist in Seoul, told local outlets, "ADHD is often misunderstood in Korea. Jungkook's openness will encourage many young people to seek help instead of hiding." In the US, ADHD advocacy groups praised him on social media, noting that his influence could normalize mental health conversations across cultures. For years, Jungkook has carried the title Golden Maknae. To many, it meant flawless, but for Jungkook, it meant pressure. Pressure to always be the best, to never make mistakes, to live up to an image. His confession broke that illusion, not by destroying it, but by reshaping it. Now, being golden doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real, being honest, being brave enough to admit imperfections. That night, Jungkook redefined what perfection means. BTS has always been more than music. Their message, "Love Yourself," was not just a slogan, but a movement. With Jungkook's confession, that message gained new depth. Fans believe this moment will shape the group's upcoming comeback in 2026. They expect music that is even more vulnerable, more human, more connected to real struggles. Some speculate that BTS's next album might even include themes around mental health, healing, and resilience. If that's true, Jungkook's confession may become the seed of their next global anthem. Following the livestream, ARMYs mobilized online. They flooded social media with supportive posts, warning others not to twist Jungkook's words into mockery. They created digital safe spaces for ADHD discussions. Some even launched donation drives to mental health organizations in Jungkook's name. In essence, ARMY built a purple wall, a global shield of love to protect their idol. One fan summed it up, "Jungkook gave us his truth. Now we give him our protection." The ripple effect didn't stop in Korea. In countries like India, Brazil, the Philippines, and the US, local media covered Jungkook's ADHD reveal as a headline story. Parents spoke about him during family dinners. Teachers mentioned him in classrooms when explaining ADHD to students. Psychologists pointed to him as an example of how celebrities can use their platforms for good. Without intending to, Jungkook had become a global mental health icon. What comes next? Fans wonder if Jungkook will continue to speak about ADHD in future interviews or music. Some speculate he might even become an advocate for mental health awareness, though knowing Jungkook, he may prefer to let his actions speak rather than make grand declarations. What's certain is that Jungkook will keep being Jungkook, restless, energetic, unstoppable. But now, fans will see those traits not as quirks, but as part of the beautiful complexity that makes him who he is. Years from now, when people look back at BTS's history, they will remember the stadiums, the awards, the records, but they will also remember this quiet night in August 2025 when Jungkook sat before a camera and chose honesty over image. It was not a song, not a performance, not a choreographed moment. It was simply Jungkook, raw, unfiltered, human, and that is why it will never be forgotten. In the end, Jungkook is not defined by ADHD, nor by perfection, nor by fame. He is defined by courage, the courage to show himself fully, even when the world expects flawlessness. For ARMY, for fans, for anyone struggling in silence, his message was clear. You can still shine even when you're restless. You can still be golden even when you're imperfect. Jungkook is more than an idol. He is proof that being human is the bravest thing of all.